execute as a team in terms of social justice? Thank you.
All right, great question. Right, great question. I mean, we're still working through a lot of stuff, Aaron. So I know you respect that. As we continue to work on it, we probably don't want to like air it out, as we continue to like work and decide, hey, what exactly do we want to do? Kind of why we hadn't put anything out just yet, because we want to make sure, hey, it's direct, it's intentional, and that it actually can like bring about real change. So we haven't put anything out there yet. But guys, when we met after the scrimmage, guys were, it was raw conversation, it was passionate, and it was real. Guys just wanted to make sure, like, hey, is there something we can do as a team? Is there a way that we can use our voice and our platform to try to create real change here in Houston? Is there a way we can lend our platform and our voices to try to help, some grassroots organizations either in Houston or nationally? And, is it something that we can actually, that's attainable? Is there a law that we can try to change that's attainable? So that's kind of where it was at. And I think we got, everybody on the same page and everybody's like supporting one another. So it's a great thing, especially what's going on in this country. And I think to your second question about exactly, what is my goals or what are our goals as a team? It's just like trying to figure out, is there some type of legislation that we can change, a type of law? And, you look at, the George Floyd bill that was either, proposed on the state level in Texas, or the George Floyd bill that was passed on the federal level in Congress by Congresswoman Jackson Lee. If those are some things that we can pass, that can create real change, because that's the type of accountability we're looking for, to try to change the laws of qualified immunity.
And my follow-up, what did you think about the NBA players not playing the other night, not playing their playoff games? And is that something that you think would be practical or maybe possibly powerful for NFL players to follow through with? Or is that kind of just something that maybe, wouldn't happen? Just what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, no, definitely. What they did was powerful. Before I even start, I got to give a lot of credit to the WNBA players. Those women have been doing an amazing job. They have been doing it for a long time. And they, all the messages and all the, protests that they've done, all the different T-shirts that they've done, the initiatives that they're doing, it can't go unnoticed. So I just want to give a huge shout out to all the women in WNBA. What the players did, Milwaukee Bucks, sitting out or, boycotting that playoff game, I mean, that was a huge statement, because it's real. It's big stakes. They work hard to get to that point, and they're in the playoffs, and they said, you know what? No, what's going on in this country is more important. And we don't feel like we should be playing right now. And we'll all be fooled if you don't think the rest of the NFL players or the rest of the sports world, the rest of the people in our country weren't already thinking that. But to finally see it, come into action, and see players with the Milwaukee Bucks and the NBA to actually, take a step away from the game and say something else is more important. I applaud them. I respect it, and it's definitely something that myself, our teammates, the rest of the players in the league are definitely thinking about it, and we've been thinking about it, but it's real now that we see, what's been done in the NBA.
John?
Well, Michael, you think is there a chance you guys might not play that game against the Chiefs?
As of right now, we're all in a situation where we're like, hey, how can we use our voice and our platform to have the greatest impact? Is that approaching the team owners, the team president, saying, hey, you have great contacts when it comes to, Congress, and when it comes to the state legislators, the governors or whatever, those who have the power and ability to change these laws that need to be changed in order for us to have real change when it comes to, not police reform, but, trying to make sure that we don't have instances where, Jacob Blake is getting shot 7 times in the back, and there's, no type of justice for it, where, there's George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery. You know what I'm saying? These are the people that have the ability to affect change. So if there's a way that we can use our platform, that first Thursday night game is going to be huge. If we can work with the Chiefs and say, hey, can the McNair family and the Hunt family help us, try to reach those who have the power to make changes and to pass these laws, then, maybe we do that. But to say that the players aren't thinking about, hey, is the best thing to do to play or not play, those are definitely discussions that are happening.
Do you have another one, John?
Well, Michael, I wanted to ask you a football question, please. Since you've watched them in the off-season program virtually and now in training camp, what do you think about John Reed and A.J. Moore and the camps that they've had? What do you expect from them this season?
Oh, man. First off, young John Reed, his energy, his ability to, learn and execute after, he'll come to the sideline, ask us questions. He'll get the game plan from D-Lynn. And, he's getting thrown in all type of different situations. And he's just going out there playing full speed. and competing every single day, I love it. As a young DB coming in trying to learn NFL football, I mean, I see him making great progress every single day. And then when we get to AJ Moore, I mean, that is a dude where, his energy, his smile every single day, like that's like the heartbeat of this team. He's a guy that's making huge plays every single day. I joke with him. I say, man, you are jumping off the tape. And you saw it in our scrimmage. He's ending the scrimmage with an interception, and he's doing that consistently every single day. And the sky's the limit for that kid. I'm proud of him. I see why so many of the teammates respect him. When I first got here, I heard his name a lot. But once I saw his speed, once I saw how he practiced every single day, how he carried himself off the field, I'm like, okay, this is why. And I can honestly see him probably wearing a C on his chest this year. Like that's the type of guy AJ Moore is. He's well respected in his locker room. He's having a hell of a camp, making plays every single day, and he's gonna make some plays for the Texans this year.
Thank you.
Kim Davis.
Thank you.
Hey, Michael, kind of a two-part question. Following up on what you saw from the NBA players, not just them sitting out, but them coming back with saying these are some definitive things we'd like to see happen. Does that help you guys without saying what you're, kind of what you're thinking about in terms of what you do? And then the second part of that is, do you worry about there being a fatigue that people are getting weary of hearing about the struggles that we have to deal with, and how do you guys manage those? So if you could take those for me, thank you.
I'll go with the first one because it's a little bit, let's devise when I get a chance to actually breathe with that second one for a quick second. It's definitely great to see the plan that they have in place. I think the Ravens released a statement too, saying, some of the things that they want to focus on. Anytime you can be intentional and you can be very specific about, what your plans are, anybody who is opposed or might not truly understand why you are fighting for social justice, why you're saying Black Lives Matter, why you're taking a knee, why you're taking a stance, against racism and inequalities, it takes away their power. It takes away their argument against you because you're like, no, this is what I'm trying to change and this is why. To see the NBA and their plan of action, it definitely gives us a chance to say, okay, hey, yes, they stepped away from a playoff game, which was huge. It spoke volumes. We have time. We have the luxury of a little bit of time, a couple weeks. Even though we might be thinking those same things, do we play, do we not play? Because these things matter to us as well. Do we also have time to put some other things in place where, hey, we can probably fight for those same things too? And if we get that, if we see the McNair family or the Hunt family before this Thursday night game work with us to try to get some things changed when it comes to legislation, because that's where real change happens, then maybe it's, hey, we don't have to take that same route of, leaving and, not playing in the game, not playing a playoff game, not playing that first Thursday night game. Maybe it's like, hey, we took the same plan that y'all had and we're just going to use that instead of trying to create our own thing, use that and build on it and try to get real change here. So I think definitely it's great to see what others are doing. You don't have to try to, recreate something. You can just build off of it and take the same blueprint. And I think that's something we're looking at, Kim. Now to that second part about, people getting tired of hearing, the struggles we go through as, African-American people of color. It's been over 400 years of what's been done in this country. And yes, has there been progress? Absolutely. But are we where we want to be or where we need to be? No. And the more we continue to speak out, the more we continue to try to hold people accountable, the more we continue to say, hey, no, this is wrong. And this is what needs to be changed. If there are people that are, fighting against us for that, then they're showing their true colors. And I would pray for endurance for anybody. I needed it myself, going back to 2016 when I chose to take a knee, yes, I got tired. I got tired a little bit of, man, I'm fighting, but it's something really, are we really getting changed? Am I really making a difference? Am I putting me and myself, my family in jeopardy, my daughter's future in jeopardy, my son's future in jeopardy, my wife's future in jeopardy by me continue to take a knee? And are we really making progress? Kenny, I look at Kenny, Eric Reed, Colin Kaepernick, so many others that did the same thing. But I pray for endurance for everyone that, hey, yes, it's tough. You're putting yourself out there. You're not going to see change overnight, but you're fighting a good fight. Keep going. And if you get tired, hopefully there's a next group or somebody else that can keep it going, and maybe they give you a little energy boost to keep going as well.
Thank you.
Brian Bearfield.
Michael, you were the 2020 R&D Hall Award winner. You know, that was given to you by Stanford University for your social justice and your community organizing. Being with the Houston Texans and being a proud Houstonian as you are, can you see using your platform to join with players from the Rockets and the Astros in order to push this initiative forward?
Oh, absolutely. And I think that would be powerful. The more we come together, the more we be specific about exactly what we're trying to fight for. And like you said, we use our star power to come together and try to get change here in Houston, Texas, and then go federal. Like, no, that's how you make real change, because unfortunately, what we've seen is the more star power or celebrities like lend their voices, lend their platforms to these issues, the more things kind of get done fast. You know, it kind of accelerates the process. And I think we're starting to understand that. Everybody's starting to understand that. So I definitely see that's probably going to be what happens this year. It's probably going to be what happens, like I said, with those George Floyd legislation bills that are being proposed. I think you're going to see us probably come together to fight specifically for those things. And that might be just that little bit of push, that little bit of edge that, you know, that our Congress representatives need to get these things passed.
And congratulations on winning that award.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. It was a huge, you know, accomplishment for me. I was not expecting that, and yeah, it was humbling.
Last one for John.
Michael, last year the Texans, from the first game through the first quarter of the Kansas City playoff game, had the best special teams they've ever had. And they had another guy like you. You've been doing it a long time. What do you think about the special teams now, and what do you think the special teams should be able to do in regular season?
Man, I am going to, you know, remember the coaching points Bill O'Brien gave me of like, you know, no one should be making, you know, predictions and, you know, and all that type of stuff. But I'll say this. This is by far the most talented special teams unit I've ever been a part of. Been a part of some units that have done some great things in the NFL. Been number one in a couple units, but, you know, not as great in some other ones. When I look at this unit, I just think about the guys I'm going to be lining up next to and what they've already accomplished, and most of them are super young. You know, I'm thinking about Keon Cross, and I'm thinking about A.J. Moore, you know, Dylan Cole, Buddy Howell. I'm thinking about, what Brian Anger, what our kicker, you know, has done. John Weeks is, you know, 11 years in, looking at PK, Scarlett. It's just guys across the board who have made plays day in and day out, have been a part of a great special team unit that was, you know, last year, and you start bringing in new pieces like myself and you adding TA. I mean, I don't want to make predictions like Bill O'Brien said, but I definitely have high expectations for this unit. I want us to perform at a very high level, and I know we got a lot of guys that take pride in trying to be the best. Not just go out there and play at a high level, but trying to be the best in our division, the best in the league, the best unit every single time we take the field against any other team, the best unit for that night. So, I mean, that's the expectation. That's who we are, and I love it, because I'm finally at a point again in my career where I feel like I got to go earn my stripes again and go prove myself, because these dudes perform at such a high level and were ranked super high last year, and I'm stepping into that instead of going to a special teams unit where I got to like try to build that culture, bring that winning mentality to a special teams unit. You know, it's like, okay, I'm stepping into something that's already number one across the board. So it's fun. We all like are competing against each other. It's like a sibling rivalry. We're all trying to make the tackle. We're all trying to make the play. It's a great feeling being on the special team unit.
Thanks, Michael.
Thanks, Michael.